West Africa, a region that has shaped the world in more ways than most people realize. From ancient empires and record-breaking rulers to global music movements and the world's sweetest chocolate, West Africa is a powerhouse of history, culture, and innovation. This is Africa's Top Tier, and today we're counting down 10 incredible facts about West Africa that will absolutely blow your mind. Let's dive in. Starting at number 10, West Africa is home to Africa's largest economy. When it comes to economic power, West Africa holds the crown in the region, thanks largely to Nigeria. Even though it's now ranked the fourth largest economy in Africa overall, with a GDP of about $188 billion according to Statista, it remains the undisputed economic giant of West Africa. Nigeria's economy is a diverse mix. Oil exports still play a major role, with the country being one of the top oil producers globally. But new sectors are emerging fast. For example, Nollywood, Nigeria's film industry, is worth billions and employs hundreds of thousands. The tech sector is also booming. Lagos has been named Yabakan Valley after Silicon Valley, producing fintech unicorns like Flutterwave and Paystack that are now household names across Africa. And it's not just Nigeria making waves. Ghana's economy is expanding through gold exports and tourism. Senegal is investing heavily in infrastructure and renewable energy. And Côte d'Ivoire's cocoa exports are a global staple. West Africa is proving that it's not just resource-rich, it's also talent-rich, entrepreneurial, and ready for the future. Coming in at number 9, West Africa is the birthplace of legendary empires. West Africa's history reads like an epic saga, filled with powerful kingdoms and vast empires that once rivaled the great civilizations of Europe and Asia. The Ghana Empire, which existed long before the modern nation of Ghana, was a powerhouse in trade, controlling routes across the Sahara and dealing in gold, ivory, and salt. It was followed by the Mali Empire, whose influence stretched across much of West Africa in the 14th century. Under rulers like Mansa Musa, Mali became a center of wealth, culture, and learning. The city of Timbuktu was legendary for its libraries and universities, attracting scholars from around the world. Then came the Songhai Empire, which at its height in the 15th and 16th centuries was one of the largest empires in African history. Its cities bustled with markets, mosques, and schools, and its armies protected vast territories. The legacy of these empires still shapes West Africa's identity, with traditions, architecture, and oral histories passed down through generations. Taking the 8th spot, the world's richest man in history was West African. When we talk about wealth today, we think of tech billionaires or oil tycoons, but none of them come close to Mansa Musa, the 14th century ruler of the Mali Empire. His wealth was so vast that historians struggle to calculate it in today's terms, but estimates suggest it would equal hundreds of billions of dollars. Mansa Musa controlled Mali's enormous gold reserves at a time when gold was the most valuable commodity in the world. When he made his pilgrimage to Mecca in 1324, he traveled with a caravan of tens of thousands of people, soldiers, officials, and slaves, and reportedly 80 camels, each carrying over 100 kilograms of gold. On his journey, Musa gave away so much gold in places like Cairo that it caused inflation that lasted for years. But it wasn't just riches. He used his wealth to build mosques, fund schools, and turn Timbuktu into one of the greatest centers of learning in the medieval world. His story isn't just about money. It's about the power of vision and investment in people. At number 7, over 500 languages are spoken in West Africa. West Africa is one of the most linguistically diverse regions on Earth. Nigeria alone has over 500 indigenous languages, making it a cultural mosaic on its own right. Cameroon adds another 270 plus languages, while Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, and Mali each have dozens more. In daily life, multilingualism is the norm. Many West Africans speak a local ethnic language at home, a regional lingua franca like Hausa, Yoruba, or Wolof in the marketplace, and an official language such as English, French, or Portuguese for business and education. It's not unusual for someone to switch between 2 to 3 languages in a single conversation. These languages aren't just for communication. They carry unique histories, proverbs, songs, and traditions. Hausa is used in trans-Saharan trade. Yoruba has influenced Caribbean and Brazilian culture through the African diaspora, and Wolof is central to Senegal's vibrant music scene. West Africa's linguistic diversity is living proof of its cultural depth and adaptability. Holding the 6th spot, West Africa dominates the global cocoa industry. If you've ever eaten chocolate, there's a very high chance that the cocoa beans came from here. West Africa, led by Côte d'Ivoire and Ghana, produces more than 60% of the world's cocoa supply. That's right, your chocolate bars, your hot cocoa, and your chocolate ice cream, most of it started its life on a West African farm. In Côte d'Ivoire, entire communities are built around cocoa farming, with smallholder farmers working plots passed down for generations. Ghana, on the other hand, has built one of the most organized cocoa boards in the world, ensuring quality control so strict that Ghanaian cocoa is often considered the gold standard by chocolatiers. But cocoa here is more than just business, it's culture. Harvest season is a major event, with farmers gathering to split cocoa pods by hand, revealing rows of white pulp covered beans. From the village drying racks to international shipping containers, cocoa is West Africa's sweet gift to the world. And while the global chocolate industry is worth billions, there is an ongoing conversation about how to ensure more of that wealth stays right here, benefiting the people who grow it. Halfway at number 5, West African music moves the world. West Africa's music doesn't just make you dance, it defines global sound. Afrobeats, born from Nigeria's fusion of Afrobeat, hip-hop, and highlife, is now a dominant genre on international charts. Artists like Burna Boy, Wizkid, and Davido have headlined festivals from London to New York, while collaborating with global stars like Beyoncé, Drake, and Ed Sheeran. But the story doesn't start there. Ghana's highlife has been a party soundtrack across Africa since the 1950s. Senegal's Mbalax, driven by Saba drums, gained international fame through Youssou N'Dour. And in Mali, the desert blues of Ali Farka Touré influenced rock legends like Eric Clapton. Even genres far from Africa's shores owe their roots here. For example, reggae, samba, and blues all trace rhythms back to West African traditions carried across the Atlantic during the slave trade. Today, thanks to streaming platforms, West African beats are influencing pop, R&B, and EDM worldwide. This isn't just music from West Africa, it's music shaping the world. Landing at number 4, one of the world's largest man-made lakes is here. Stretching across 8,500 square kilometers, Lake Volta in Ghana is one of the largest man-made reservoirs on Earth. It was created in the 1960s after the construction of the Akosombo Dam, a project that reshaped Ghana's geography, economy, and even its population. The dam generates hydroelectric power that not only lights Ghana, but also supplies electricity to neighboring countries like Togo and Benin. The lake is also a major fishing hub, home to thousands of fishermen who spend their lives on its waters. Beyond industry, Lake Volta plays a role in transportation. Boats and ferries carry goods and passengers across its vast expanse, sometimes taking hours to cross from one side to the other. Standing on its shore, it's hard to believe this massive body of water is artificial. It is a testament to West Africa's ambition and engineering skill. Taking the 3rd spot, West Africa is home to unique architecture that stands the test of time. West Africa's culture is as diverse as its cultures, blending ancient techniques with striking design. One of the most famous examples is the Great Mosque of Djenné in Mali. the largest mud brick building in the world. Built in 1907 on the site of a much older mosque from the 13th century, it requires an annual festival called the Crepissage, where the whole community comes together to reapply layers of mud plaster, keeping the structure strong and beautiful. Then there are Ghana's Cape Coast and Elmina castles, once centers of the transatlantic slave trade, now preserved as UNESCO's World Heritage Sites. Walking through their stone corridors is a haunting reminder of a painful past. Senegal's capital, Dakar, offers a different style. Colorful colonial buildings, Art Deco influences, and modern skyscrapers that create a vibrant urban mix. And in Nigeria's Kano, the Emir's Palace showcases Hausa architectural traditions, with intricate plasterwork and bold geometric designs. Each structure tells a story of resilience, identity, and history. The runner-up at number 2 is that West Africa is a hub for fashion and style. When it comes to fashion, West Africa is setting the pace worldwide. Dakar Fashion Week in Senegal and Lagos Fashion Week in Nigeria drew international media, designers, and celebrities. Icons like Lisa Folawiyo of Nigeria, famed for her modern take on Ankara prints, and Oumoussai of Senegal, celebrated as the queen of African couture, are redefining luxury on the continent. Adding to this wave is Sarah Diop, the Senegalese designer behind Tongoro Studio, whose creations have been worn by global stars like Beyoncé. Traditional fabrics such as Ghana's Kente and Nigeria's Ankara are no longer confined to local markets. They've gone global, gracing red carpets and runways in Paris, Milan, and New York. Street style is equally bold, with tailors in open-air markets producing custom-fitted outfits in just days. From colorful head wraps to intricately beaded jewelry, every piece carries meaning tied to identity, heritage, or special occasions. So West Africa isn't just participating in global fashion, it is shaping and influencing it. And finally at number 1, West Africa is home to some of the world's most significant historical sites. West Africa's history is carved into its landscapes, buildings, and monuments. In Senegal, Gorée Island is a place of remembrance. Once a center for the slave trade, it is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site where visitors can walk through the door of no return, a powerful symbol of the millions of Africans taken from these shores. In Ghana, Elmina Castle and the Cape Coast Castle tell similar stories, their walls holding centuries of history, pain, and resilience. For many in the African diaspora, visiting these sites is an emotional journey, a way to reconnect with ancestral roots. But West Africa's heritage isn't only tied to the slave trade. In Benin, the royal palaces of Abomey showcase the artistry and political power of the Dahomey Kingdom. In Mali, Timbuktu's ancient manuscripts preserve centuries of African knowledge, covering topics from astronomy to law. In Nigeria's Adamawa state, the Suko cultural landscape offers insights into ancient governance and terraced farming practices. These sites aren't just for tourists, they are living museums, teaching lessons from resilience, creativity, and the enduring spirits of West Africa. From legendary rulers to global music, from ancient empires to the world's sweetest cocoa, West Africa's influence is impossible to ignore. So what facts surprised you the most? Tell us in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Africa's Top Tier for more powerful stories from across the continent. Until next time, stay bold, stay curious, and stay African. See you next time.